Hey everybody, I'm G. Marie, your cosmetology coach, and I just wanted to come on and share some of the conversations I had today with future professionals out at a local beauty school. The number one thing that I got from several different students is they're still in school and they want to rent a suite or open their own salon in their home or go somewhere and work alone. As you know, cosmetology is a creative business. And when you're in a creative business, the energy that you get from your peers helps to sometimes spark your creativity. Not only does it spark your creativity, but when you're not with a client, you get the opportunity to sit and watch other professionals work on clients and do what they do. So guess what you get to do? You get to learn by watching. And a lot of cosmetology is learned behavior from watching our peers. So I recommend, I only had 2 students that tried that venture. And the experiences for both of them were very different. And I'm going to tell you a short story about why. I don't recommend that any of my students, when I was running my school, go out and work by themselves. Rent a suite, go in their basement, work from home. It's not a recommendation. I also don't recommend that you go somewhere and try to booth rent. You have, a few people that are coming to you, but you need a certain number every week to hit your booth rent goal and still be able to pay your bills, cover all your expenses, buy your supplies, pay your assistant, and live a little bit. You have to have a certain dollar amount. And I'll get into that about building and power rebooking in another video. But right now, to tell you about the 2 students. So the first one, she was an older student. She was a professional. She was a CFO for a small business that was not too far from the school. So she managed their books. She did all of the numbers. So she understood numbers. She came to school. She came in with the goal of becoming a board certified colorist. If you're not familiar with what a board certified colorist is, Google it so that you can find out, and I'll leave some information in the comments below, but just so you can do your own research. She graduated from beauty school in September, and in October she went and took her certification to get her hair colorist certification through board certified colorist. Now, I have been practicing, I don't even know how long, and I was just starting to look at what the test required before I bought my school. I was thinking about becoming a board certified colorist. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of information, you have to take an exam, and the exam is grueling, you have to do things their way, but I got to be instrumental in having my finger in that graduate's pie who went and took it. And when she came back, she passed it first time. And when she came back, she said, Miss G. Marie, it was some of the conversations that we had that helped me to be able to be successful on some of the questions on the test that were a little more complicated. We had gone over that and she was successful from that. So she went and opened her own studio in her basement, and she was successful with her business. She advertised the whole 9. She didn't have a problem while she was working. Now, the other student who went into a private salon, she stayed there for about 2 years. And I touched base with her when she was ready to move. She was like, I did everything, and she could not build a clientele. This salon had no public access. You couldn't see it from the street. You didn't know it was there. It was the type of salon that you go into when you have a full clientele. You've built them. They're coming to you. If you go to the moon and back, your clients are coming with you. That's when you can go into that type of situation, because you're not looking to build new clients. Your book is full. You probably can't take any more clients. That's when you go into a private situation like that. When she came out of that, it was 2 years later. It was and what she thought, and I thought, was that the young lady, because when they met, they found out that they were related. I thought the young lady was trying to slow her business down and was going to be feeding customers to my student or my graduate, and she didn't do that. So needless to say, she went into a hair cuttery and immediately started building her clientele. I saw, her work on social media, And I was like, I was so happy for her. But I knew, and I told her when I saw her, I said, I was not in support of that, but I went with it because it was a family member of yours. So today when I was at the career fair working with the future professionals that were graduating, I told my story. And I said, you know, when I was in beauty school, I had a customer. This is back in the 80s. So this is a while ago. And weaving was big business and big money. It always has been. And I went to this woman's house in her basement by myself, alone. Yeah, I could do your weave. I could do your weave. How much is it going to cost? Oh, yeah, it's going to cost $450. In the 80s, that was probably her rent payment. I took her weave off and proceeded to put her weave on. And she was bald. I had never seen anything like that. I was like, oh my God. And when I finished her weave, it was nothing you want. It would look like a wove. It was horrible. And I had nobody I could call, nobody I could say, hey, what do you do? I'm stuck. So that is why I do not recommend anyone coming right out of school with no experience or little experience. You may be good at a few things, but you haven't seen enough to be able to cover your own self. If you're going to go off into a private situation, here's what you need to do. You need to spend at least 3 to 5 years in an environment of practice with other stylists. And why do I say that? Because you get to hone your own skills. You get to decide, what is it that I really like to do? Do I specialize? Am I a general practitioner? Do I like color? Do I like cutting, styling? What is my niche that I really have, like, makes me feel good when I start doing it? Once you know that, because you'll have had enough opportunities to touch different styles and different services and provide them and be like, oh, I'm not a braider, or oh, I don't like color, or cutting's not my thing, or yes, I like to cut, but color, you know, you get to decide, and then you continue your education accordingly. So my recommendation is that you work with others, and then once you master and hone what it is you really like to do, then go out and practice by yourself, because you're going to work in your comfort zone, and you'll be able to say, like I told one of my stylists the other day, if you don't like doing that, if short hair isn't your thing, she came in my office, she was like, "Urgh." And I was like, what? She was like, it's just making me feel like, Urgh. I said, it's okay to say, you know what, let me recommend, if somebody recommends a short hair client to you and that's not your thing, and you know 2 or 3 other stylists in the salon where you work and that's their thing, politely pass them on. I said, I'll talk to the client. I'm going to rebook her with the other young lady who does short hair. They seem to have gotten along when you asked her to shampoo, and it was a done deal. So you'll learn what your specialty is. And don't do stuff that doesn't make you feel good. I'm a colorist. Coloring is my thing. I can do basic haircuts. I can do some nice soft styling. But I want to color your hair and then style your hair so you can see how pretty your hair color looks. So that's my thing. Those are my tips for today. Don't work alone. Get some experience. Work with other stylists. Build camaraderie. Find your niche. Get in it and have a good time doing hair. Thanks for watching. I'm G. Marie. I'm your cosmetology coach, and I'll see you in the next one.